OK， 歡迎到最新一集嘅創出時機，我係你主持人時景恒。今日我哋有好特別嘅嘉賓，所以今日會用英文嚟做 interview 嘅。I'd like to introduce my good friend Nick from Hong Kong Broadband, 1310, right? Hong Kong Exchange listed number, right?
Yes.
So I've known Nick for a few years, and he's my mentor in a lot of things in terms of running a business and about how to 做人 in general, how to be a good person, a good father, a good businessman, being a good leader. And it's my honor to have you here to talk about your business, how you started and everything. How about we start with talking about your background, how you came to Hong Kong. I know you're not born in Hong Kong, right? So how you came to live here and your early years and what you do. Can you give me some introduction of yourself?
Sure. Born in East Timor.
Okay.
Grew up in Australia.
Okay.
Been in Hong Kong for 25 years.
Okay.
So I spent more than half my life in Hong Kong.
Your education is in Australia?
Yes.
Okay.
So I consider Hong Kong my home now.
Okay, great. And prior to Hong Kong Broadband, you were a banker, I remembered.
Yes.
So can you talk about that?
Sure. I was an investment banker for about a decade.
Okay.
I took Ricky Wong of CTI to NASDAQ to raise the first 50 million.
How did you meet Ricky?
Through the banking relationship. So I was his banker.
Okay, and he persuaded you to join him afterwards?
No, the other way around. I persuaded him to give me an opportunity.
Oh, really?
And he asked me to take an 80% pay cut, which I happily accepted.
He is that inspirational or attractive, I guess.
Yes, he's my mentor. He's my...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You found him attractive because of his smarts, his wits, and his hardworking attitude and all
Indeed. I got to know him through the IPO.
Okay.
I fell in love with the business.
Okay.
I wanted to work with him. So I took the 80% pay cut. I sold my home. I bought 2% of his company.
Okay.
When I joined.
Okay. And I think a few years ago there was a management buyout and everything, and Ricky left to do his own thing. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Mm-hmm. So after 8 years together, in 2012, he fell in love with the TV business. Okay. And we remain very passionate. We being a professional management team. Okay. Remain very passionate about the telecom business. Okay. So we bought the telecom business from him. Okay. In a management buyout.
That was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Only 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Wow. Okay. And that's really good. And then I heard the story that when the funds offer you guys very attractive offers, you rather take a cut to give a benefit to everybody else. You know, that's very rare in Hong Kong. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So typically in a management buyout, say the top half dozen executives would be offered very favorable terms to co-invest. Mm-hmm. We looked at the terms that were extremely favorable, but what we went back to the firm, to the private equity firm, was to reduce the attractiveness of the terms, but spread it out from 6 people to 90 people. Okay. So at the IPO, we had 90 co-owners.
Okay. Were those 90 people already decided at that time, or you were giving opportunity for people to invest those spots?
So these are people who put money in, their life savings, early in the process, early in the buyout. So it's kind of considered a high-risk process. Okay. So we offered 100 people, 90 people said yes, 10 people said they'll pass. Okay. The 90 people on average put in 2 years salary. Wow. So 2 years salary represents about 10 years of savings if you have a 20% savings.
So I guess in itself, those guys are entrepreneurs themselves because they have a high stake of their asset tied to the business.
Indeed. We don't consider our colleagues as staff. We consider them as talents and as mini entrepreneurs. So we have co-ownership.
Okay, that's great. And I guess having people who has a lot of skin in the game makes a huge difference in their attitude, their effectiveness of running an organization, and you can see the huge difference after your policy, right?
Oh, night and day.
Oh, okay.
Night and day difference.
But you guys, prior to the management buyout, Hong Kong Broadband was a pretty good business company as itself already when Ricky was there. But I guess the caliber just went up, you know?
Yeah, I think we're a different league in terms of alignment.
Oh, okay.
Today we have 276 co-owners in the company, and they're all up by choice. Okay. We do not believe in giving anything away. We think ownership has to be bought. It cannot be given to you. Okay. So every co-owner has put some material savings into the company by choice. Okay.
And you have to be invited. You can't just you can't just join and then put in money, right?
So we have a fair system. If you make management supervisor and above, so there's about 400 out of 2,500 colleagues. Okay. If you make this grade, then you're automatically invited.
Okay.
So you can invest up to 6 months of your salary.
Okay.
And everyone's equal, whether you're the CEO or the most junior supervisor, is 6 months of your salary up to.
Wow, okay. And you thought of this system?
We debated amongst the team, and yes, we drove it.
That's great. I think one of the things that really inspired me, and one thing that stands out about Hong Kong Broadband is how you talent manage, how you recruit, how you're very, very nice to the people, and yet you expect them to work very, very hard. A lot of the benefits that you guys provide for the staff is beyond everything that's what's offered, or what I've heard from anybody in Hong Kong. And can you explain some examples for that and tell us something more about that?
Sure, happy to. Yeah. But first of all, we don't have any staff.
Okay.
We only have talent in our company. So our approach is we want our culture to be very distinct.
Okay.
That you either love it or you hate it.
Okay.
But you're never indifferent. So when we ask, Kevin, what do you think about HKBN if you're a colleague of ours? You will never say, so-so la. You always say, I love it. Because if you don't, you won't be our colleague.
If they don't like it, they'll probably leave within 2 weeks, right?
They won't join.
Okay.
So we want it upfront. For example, we fire the bottom 5%.
Okay.
Including co-owners.
Wow, okay.
Bottom 5% is fired every year.
Okay.
And you know that before you join. If you don't like it, don't join. But if you do join, be passionate about what we do. At the end of the day, we need 1,200 passionate colleagues to really make a big difference. Not tens of thousands of people who like us. That's the difference.
I see. And then you have a lot of these trips everywhere that people that are not allowed. I mean, they cannot. Usually, wouldn't have a chance to go, and they experience a lot of different things together as team building. It's beyond traditional Hong Kong team building.
We do a lot of exceptional things for our talents and our co-owners and our colleagues. But in return, we have very, very high expectations.
That's amazing.
So, and that comes with an alignment of interest and big, passionate people.
It wasn't easy, right?
No, it was.
IPO in Hong Kong is really hard.
It is.
Talk about your recent initiative about the 9 to 5.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't even heard of that.
So we recently shortened our work week from 9 to 6 is normal to 9 to 5. So that's 5 hours of extra leave a day. A week. And the thinking is this. When I was working in my first 10 years, I seldom had the opportunity to go home and have dinner at home by 6:30.
Okay.
We want to give our colleagues an opportunity to do this.
Okay.
That you can leave the office at 5, take the MTR, and be at home sitting at your desk with your young children, having a nice family dinner at 6:30. We may not be able to do this 5 days a week, but even if you do this 1 day a week, that's 50 meals a year. And over a 10-year period, that's 500 meals.
Wow.
I mean, that's a massive difference. So our thinking is this. Some of the benefits that we offer as a company are life-changing to certain types of people.
Yes.
They're the people we want to attract.
Okay.
Some people, even if you give them a 5% option, they want to work to 11, 12, midnight anyway. That's their choice. But we give you the option, the discretion to go home at 5.
And there's no email on weekends, right?
Yes. No non-customer emails.
Okay.
Of course, if we get a customer response, instant response, but no non-urgent matters on weekends.
Okay, let's talk about strategy. I remember, because we've met so many times, I remember your strategy is LUCA, unfair competition advantage, right? Can you explain some more about that?
Sure. LUCA stands for Legal Unfair Competitive Advantage.
Okay.
So everything we do, we look for LUCA. If there's no LUCA, don't do it.
Okay.
So, for example, if you look at our history, we started building fiber in the mass residential complexes of Hong Kong first.
Okay.
And the thinking is this. If you look at the income pyramid, rich people on top, less affluent on the bottom, traditional telcos around the world target rich people first. Top of the pyramid, work their way down. We started at the bottom and working our way up.
Okay.
Because the bottom was underserved.
Okay.
And that's where we dominate. And now we are reaching to the upper echelons.
Okay, I see. And can you give us some examples of previous LUCA tactics or strategies that you guys have done that's out now and it's worked in the past?
Plenty. We were amongst the first carriers in Hong Kong to move our service center to Guangzhou.
Okay.
So today, 2,500 colleagues, half are based in Guangzou.
Wow. Okay. The saving is huge.
Massive. If you look back over the MPV over the last decade and a bit, it's massive. If you look at today, we're a pioneer and a leader in moving to online. So even Guangzhou is becoming a little bit too expensive.
Yes.
So we're moving online. So our approach is look at every change as an opportunity. A lot of people complain that cost of doing business in Hong Kong is very expensive, rent and people. That's an opportunity. When we go online, the delta between doing business in Hong Kong and online is massive.
Exactly.
So we see it as an opportunity.
So by online, you mean the customer serves themselves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Online, self-registration, everything's automated.
And the trend, I think, customer in Hong Kong is accepting that?
Yes.
What about the older people, like, the 60 plus and all that?
No, I mean,
they probably get their daughters or something.
Yeah, we're making a transition. It's not an easy transition, but it is coming through quite strongly.
So Nick, I mean, everything that I heard so far seems to be very good. I mean, you guys are doing on the right track, but I'm sure as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you guys must have a lot of challenges and setback. Can you explain some of the challenges and setback and what you've learned from that?
Sure, happy to. I think that's a very valid point. From an outsider, you only see the good stuff, or mainly the good stuff.
Same here.
You only get interviewed when you have success.
Yes.
But when we're struggling, it's very, very quiet. It's a very lonely kind of fight when you're struggling. We lost money for the first 7 years. From year 2000 to 2007, we were in negative free cash flow. In fact, after I sold my house and bought 2% of the company, the share price halved for the next 2 years.
So that was in 2009?
I bought in 2004. And then for the last 2 years of our negative free cash flow. But that was disheartening, seeing my whole life savings half. But you have to go through these pains. And then, of course, on the upside, then you get the interviews. But on the downside, none of the interviews come through.
Exactly. So what other kind of experiments or things that you guys have tried? I know you guys are very innovative. You guys allow your managers to try things, even though if you think this is going to fail, because that's the way to empower them.
Yes.
Can you give us some examples of the flops that you guys did and you guys how you learned from that?
Sure. There are probably too many to list down. But a couple of key ones. We started a big TV business.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's why. It sucks because we think content is poison. Stick with our core bread and butter.
Why is content poison?
Because whatever revenue you generate, you just pass on to the content provider. So we actually make a very squeeze. It's like, you get squeezed.
But can I interrupt you for a second about there? Content is poison, and yet Netflix is making a lot of money.
We embrace Netflix. So what we do is give you the big fat dumb pipe so that you will have the best Netflix experience. So we embrace.
But if your management team in Netflix, you would not encourage making your own productions like what they're doing right now.
That we don't care. As long as they have good content. To make people have demand for broadband.
So it's different.
We stick with what we're good at. In fact, there's so much kind of competition going up there. For every Netflix, there's a dozen failures.
Exactly.
We don't care as long as
you're the provider.
We're the
you guys have
provider.
a moat around your business.
Yes. Actually, let me turn the tables around. Every time we have a beer, you have always got some crazy, harebrained, really cool ideas.
Really?
And I don't know where you get them from.
I mean, okay, let's not talk about the illegal ones here.
But where do you get all your ideas from?
People think I'm very innovative, but I'm not. I just like I have a lot of network, I have a lot of friends, I read a lot, and I have different channels to get different information. And one thing that I learned a long time ago from a study, from a course, is a question I asked myself, how I can apply whatever idea I heard to my own field, to my own business. So I would like hear something from this guy, hear something from that guy, and adopt it. And I think that's my specialty. I like to copy things and I change. And I like to think about things. One
thing I do notice about you, you're always talking with, you're always studying some course, you're always reading some book, or you're always, having a beer with someone. What keeps you out there? A lot of people like, once you reach a certain level of success, a lot of people shut down.
You mean learning?
Yeah.
Because the information out there, especially with digital, blows my mind. I mean, if I don't learn things like 6 months from now, it will be completely different from now, right? So the people I talk to, even to you about the talent management, there's so much I can implement. And that's what I love being an entrepreneur, being my own boss. I mean, there is a board of director, but I control it, right? So I can do a lot of crazy things, and that's what keeps me passionate. I mean, my company's big enough that if I fail, then I just start over. Like I just do it over, right? But there's so many things out there, information-wise, that I'm very passionate about, and it makes a difference. And I think it's like me and you, it's beyond the money. Money is important right now for me still, but it's a lot of things that I can implement. Is really fun. And even just having an interview with you today, I think I'm gonna go back and try. I wouldn't say 9 to 5, but maybe 9 to 6:30 or 9 to 6:45. So I'm very excited about that. And in terms of networking, having a beer with this guy and that guy, I guess Hong Kong is a small place and a lot of people come to see me, but that has this negative feedback. I mean, it's good that I network and I learn from everybody, but it's the constraint is time. I don't have enough time, so one thing I gotta learn to do is say no. I don't know about you, but I have a policy. If I meet somebody important like you, of course it's okay, but generally, if people meet me, I always ask them to come to my office. Rarely do I go see them. If they're not important, I just come for lunch and all that, all right? And I just don't travel anymore because I believe that time is very essence for me right now. So yeah, I'm still learning, and I hope to do as well as you guys one day. Your major competitors are still much bigger than you guys. And for an outsider, that would think like I wouldn't want to be in this business because my competitor is so big and so strong. But having numerous studies based on things I've heard and experienced, sometimes a big competitor can be their own weakness because they're a bit immobile, they react too slow, a lot of bureaucracy in there. Do you agree with that? Do you think a big competitor is not much of a threat if you know how to play it properly?
Actually, well, I mean, if we didn't agree with that, we wouldn't be here today. So we are in fact the largest fiber carrier in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So we're one of the few new entrants in the world that has a more established presence in fiber than the incumbent. Our profitability is well above theirs, and it's going up.
And the reason is because they're too big to change fast enough?
We look at life differently.
Okay.
So we have the highest EBITDA margin in the Hong Kong sector, and we're expanding. We have the highest growth by far. It's a great business to be in. Telecoms is a fantastic business to be in.
I can see your passion. I can see. I guess it's the passion that drives you in the business.
We have fun. We enjoy going to work. We enjoy kicking ass. That's what we do as a company. Yeah. We enjoy leveraging out leveraging and finding lucre.
Okay. What's new in Hong Kong broadband? What are you guys looking forward to, or what kind of things should we be expecting in the future from you guys?
Actually, don't expect us to expand outside of our core. For example, we think content is poison as a business. Okay. We enjoy 40% EBITDA margin, being a big fat dumb pipe. Okay. If you look at the content business, it's either loss-making or very low margins. If you look at
I guess you're referring to your competitor, right?
Yes, indeed. They're all public. They're publicly listed companies. 11% EBITDA, we have 40% or negative. So we love doing what we do. We are good at what we're doing. We're focused. Okay. And Hong Kong, a lot of growth for us. Okay. Okay. And I guess this shows a lot of young entrepreneurs or startups and business people. What advice do you give? I guess when you guys had the MBO, you guys were small guys as well. What advice do you give for people who's in business themselves, early startups or starting their own business? What kind of advice do you give for them? I think the key is teamwork. You find people who are better than you. Work together and make sure that the interests are aligned. Okay. Like in Western management books, you talk about like in Good to Great, you talk about the CEO driving the bus and everyone getting on the same bus. Getting the right people in the bus. We think that's completely wrong. Okay. We're a Chinese company. We're talking about getting people on the dragon boat. Why the dragon boat? Because in the dragon boat, everyone has to be rolling at the same pace. Yes. If you're not in the same pace, you go in circles. Exactly. Okay. We are a Hong Kong dragon boat. Okay. Everyone's rolling, at the same pace. Okay. Everyone's passionate. Okay. Then you win the races. Is it hard to hire good people these days, even with your good terms? I mean, there's a lot of complaints among bosses themselves, people like the new generations, they're not hardworking, they don't need the money, they rely on the parents and all that. Do you find that true in Hong Kong, or there is some cream of the crop still out there? I don't think so. I mean, it depends how you approach it. Well, in our recent trainee hire, we had 1,185 applicants, and we selected 7 of the best. Wow. So I don't think very hard. That's harder to get in Harvard. It's not a shortage of supply. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And any advice for young people before we go? I think once again is alignment. Do something that it sounds like a cliche. Okay. Do something that you're passionate about. But passion has to be sustained. You have to be successful. You have to make progress because passion only gets you so far. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Nick, having being on my show, and wish you best of luck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.